Today on Family Matters.
There was no love there. She did hit me on regular occasions.
Your mum was using then, correct?
Yeah.
This is true?
Part of it, yeah.
How did you feel when your mum took the baby away?
I was screaming that I wanted my son back.
I want you to make it work. I want to be a nan to him, Amy. I don't want to be a standing whatever. He's my grandson, not my son. He's your son, not mine.
I was young and stupid and I put myself first before my son.
I can't give you 100%, 100 hours of the week. You are a mum. You have got your own son.
What are you missing, Amy, that you want?
Quality time with my mum.
For God's sake, give each other a hug. You're going to sit in there. Welcome to the show. My first guest, Amanda, is here because she says she has looked after her grandson, Paul, full-time for the last 4 years due to her daughter Amy's postnatal depression. However, the relationship now between her and Amy has only deteriorated. Amanda says her daughter has never put her grandson first, but since Amy has taken Paul back earlier this year, she has only let Grandma see him twice. Take a look at this.
I'm Paul's nan. I brought my daughter's son up for the past 4 years. Amy had postnatal depression, but I think she played on it a bit. Rather than taking responsibility for her son, she'd rather go out, have a drink, boys. It wasn't a priority at all. She'd put her friends before him.
Hello? All right, I'll be down in a second.
She used to get up in the morning, sit him in his high chair, give him toast and go back to bed. I took him, I got a residence order, because if I hadn't been, Paul would have been in care. Because she weren't looking after him properly.
Why?
She sent the police round just after Christmas. She accused me that I was using again. Now, do I look as though I am using heroin? I am 16 years clean this year. I'm not going to let 16 years go down the drain just because she thinks I am. I do feel as though at the beginning she did just want him back so that she could get a flat. I just see her as a vindictive little madam. She's now got him back and I very rarely see him. It's breaking my heart.
Welcome.
Hi.
So how old was he when you actually started to look after?
13 months, that's when I first took him.
13 months.
Yeah.
So you was around when Amy had...
I was around when she had him.
Yes.
They actually lived with me when she had him.
OK. So she actually came to you when, you know, she had the baby. They lived with you.
Yeah.
So there was all of you together. And then how did they not end up living with you? For you then to take him back?
We had to move out of the 3-bedroom that we had into 2 separate flats. Amy, one for her and Paul, and one for me and my son Ryan. Right. And that's how we ended up in separate houses.
Right, OK. And then you what did you start to see that made you think, like, right, I'm going to have to take?
Just the partying and leaving him in the flat with underage children, 12, 13-year-olds.
So 12 and 13-year-olds were being put in a position to look after a baby, a newborn baby, by your daughter who just had Paul.
Yep.
And how old was your daughter when she had Paul?
17.
17. OK, so you'd heard about this? I mean, were you living next door in that flat?
No, I lived, I think it was about 20 minutes away from where she lived at the time.
OK, so you'd heard of this?
Yeah.
And so you went over, was there a conversation?
There were quite a few confrontations with the lads and lasses that lived on the estate where Amy lived.
Right.
And the police were called quite a few times. The police rang me and basically said, you sort something out now, otherwise social services are going to get involved.
Right, so you know, your daughter had postnatal depression However, in that circumstance, she was still making decisions to let younger children look after the baby?
Yeah, and she shouldn't have done.
Right, so then once you heard that the police were getting involved and social services would then be involved, you decided to take residency, correct?
Yeah. It got that one particular night, I was talking to somebody on my Facebook. Your daughter's in the next room doing whatever with a certain person. So I got my son into the car,
right,
went down to the flat,
baby.
Took to the flat. Amy wasn't there, a 15-year-old there. Asked this 15-year-old where Amy was. I don't know. It's like, I clicked on then where she was because of the name.
So she was being neglectful to the baby.
Yeah.
So then you took the baby, got residency, and of course Paul is now a toddler, and you started to look after him.
Yep.
Okay. So take me up to speed to where we are now, because Amy has now taken back Paul, her son.
Yeah.
And they're now living in their own place, correct?
Yeah. Paul went back to live with Amy in January. Now, I've been telling her for months to sort something out, to get a flat, so that she could have her son back.
Yes.
Now, just after Christmas, I got a visitor from the police. Okay. I've had a phone call off your daughter. She's worried about her son's well-being while he's living under your roof. And she's had him back since.
So why were they worried? What did the police actually say to you? What was the concern? And what was Amy's complaint to the police with respect to why they should be calling you?
Well, basically, when I started taking all my tablets, because I've got diabetes and I'm in a lot of pain in my neck and everything,
right,
I'm on strong painkillers.
Yes.
Now, the ones that I take at night make me drowsy and they last for part of the day. And I was falling asleep with cigarettes in my hand.
Okay.
Which I hold my hand up to. I have done it. I'm not going to...
So she was concerned for that? She was concerned that you were going to be falling asleep?
But that was dealt with when we spoke about it before this happened.
Right. So was Amy in much contact with her son when you did have residency, when you were looking after Paul?
She could see him whenever she wanted. She could see him.
That's not the question. Was she
Well,
there? Did she
really,
come around? Did she?
No.
So she didn't pay any attention. She wasn't coming over regularly, being consistent, playing the mother role, even though you were actually looking after him. There was no connection.
Not at all. No. She just weren't there. She couldn't be bothered.
Why do you think that wasn't happening?
She just couldn't be bothered.
Did you ask her? Did you say, like, why don't you come around more? You don't come around? You don't...
I asked her all the time to come round. And it were, oh, I can't, I'm doing this. Or there was always an excuse.
So why does Amy want him back now?
Well, personally, I think it's money orientated.
Explain that.
So she could get a flat. So she could...
So she had nowhere to live?
She had nowhere to live up until, I think it was about 3 weeks before she got in touch with you.
Right. So you feel that she's taken back her son because it will give her then an opportunity to file for wanting housing?
Yeah, basically, that's the bottom line of it.
Right.
That's the way I feel about it anyway.
Right. And how's young Paul cope with all of this? I mean, he was at yours, and now this transition of being at mum's and he's come back, you know, for...
He's so off the wall, it's unbelievable.
What do you mean by that?
Well, his behaviour, he won't do anything. He won't... Anything that you ask him to do, he just won't do.
So you're saying you've seen a change?
Oh, a big change.
So he wasn't like that with you?
No, he said to me just before he moved back in with Amy, when I moved back in with my mummy, I hope you die and I never see you again.
To you?
To me.
Why would he say that?
I don't know, he's never said anything like that to me before. Anything like that to anyone.
So why would you think he would say something like that?
The circle of friends that Amy hangs about with. Personally.
Right.
Because...
So what do you want today?
I just want my family back to normal. I want my relationship with my daughter back to normal, my relationship with Amy and Ryan, my son, back to normal, and mainly Amy and Paul sorting out. so that Amy can actually deal with him.
Still to come on Family Matters.
There was no love there. She did hit me on regular occasions.
Your mum was using then, correct?
Yeah.
This is true.
Part of it, yeah.
How did you feel when your mum took the baby away?
I was screaming that I wanted my son back. What are you crying for? My name's Amy and I'm mum to Paul. My son moved in with my mum in 2010 and hardly seen him, so I lost the bond between them. What are you going in your bedroom for? And got post-natal depression after having him. What did you kick me for? There must be a reason. Paul lived with my mum for just over 3 years. In January 2014, I actually took him back. When I was younger, my mum put me through hell. She beat me up, she was on smack. I feel she's on something again, and I didn't want my son bringing up around it. I decided to take my son back because I didn't think he was safe living at my mother's, and I don't want my son going through what I went through.
And I've got a headache from where you were punching me on my head.
It does feel like I'm starting again with Paul.
Come back in here, please.
It doesn't feel like there's anything there. He wants my mum all the time.
Come here and talk to me. Come on.
And it's really hard being a single mum, but I've got to do it. Not just for me, but for Paul. Get up, come on. Stop being silly. I do want a relationship with my mum, but I don't think my mum's making any effort with me at the moment. It makes me feel not wanted. It's always been that way.
Welcome, Amy. Could you please share with us your own childhood? Well, I've just heard a few things there, obviously, that were not pleasant with respects to the aggression, the violence.
When I was younger, I did live with my mum, but she has had a bad past. And I had to bring my brother up for a year and a half when I was young.
Yeah. What were the difficult things for you as a young child living with your mum? What are the things that you needed that weren't provided for you?
The love. There was no love there.
Your mum was using then, correct?
Yeah. And she did hit me on regular occasions.
And did she hit you consistently? Like, did you see that there was a pattern? Did you notice that, she would hit you just because she felt like hitting you? Was it when she was using the heroin and, coming down and needing another fix? Did you notice anything like that? Or did it just feel to you like you were always just being hit?
It just felt to me like it was natural, because I was still young.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is true?
Part of it, yeah.
What's part of it?
When I was using, yeah, I did use it. I've never denied it, no. I went through treatment and I admitted everything.
Yeah. And did you ever come to a place where you were accountable for your behaviour, being an addict and using those drugs, and have that conversation with your daughter?
Well, we have spoke about it before.
Was there an apology, an accountability?
I have apologised to her. I wrote her a letter.
Yeah.
And
you received that letter?
Yeah.
Did that do anything to bridge, to heal the relationship with the pair of you?
When I was 17, we finally got our bond back. Like, we became close again.
You felt closer.
Yeah.
Did you heal from being raised in a family where your mother was an addict? Did you heal from that process? Do you feel like there was some redemption, some healing? Did you find yourself in a place of making a choice to forgive for what had happened in your past? You did.
Yeah.
And so then you started to get the bond together. How old was you then?
17.
17, okay. How did you feel when your mum took the baby away? I mean, you came home and the baby wasn't there.
She actually came round to where I were and told me that she'd taken him.
Right, okay.
And I was screaming that I wanted my son back.
Right. Did you realise at the time that you were being neglectful and irresponsible?
Yeah.
You did. But you still wanted your baby even though you knew you were being very reckless?
Yeah.
Right. So take me to the place of your mum's now got Paul and you have the opportunity to go over. You're upset, you're screaming, your baby's been taken away from you, but with your mother. Now take me to the place where you could have had those visits and chose not to, or you could have been closer but chose not to.
Well,
what was going on?
When she lived closer, I was there like practically every day with her. And then she moved up to, and I couldn't afford to get up there every single day.
So what did you used to do?
I used to have him over at my house on a weekend.
Right.
And I'd just see him weekends.
So that was the arrangement that was had, was it, when you moved?
No, the arrangement was that she saved a bus fare to come up and see him through the week as well as weekends, and she just chose not to save a bus fares.
So it didn't happen?
No.
For whatever reason?
I was young and stupid. I put myself first.
Okay. So...
No, I understand I put myself first. Right. I was wrong.
So if we're to be very honest here today, because that's all we want, the priority was yourself. You put yourself first and found excuses to not go up. Yeah. Okay. At least we're being honest about that here, you know, which is most important. So you made choices which obviously kept you really detached from Paul and not having that bond or that relationship with him where he could grow to understand that you were Nana and you were Mum.
Yeah.
So then you became more of a mother figure as you were more consistent?
Because I always made sure that he knew I was Nan.
Right.
His mum was Amy,
Right.
not me.
OK. So in that process, did Paul ask for when Mum was coming or when he was going to see Mum? And what would you say?
Usually Fridays.
Right. So you'd save your money then, you'd have
My mum would drop him off on a Friday.
You'd drop off?
Yeah.
After school and then pick him up on a Sunday.
Right. And so then you started to have Paul over the weekends?
But some of the holidays before we started school, I used to have him like 2-3 weeks in a row.
Right, OK. So you started to have some presence in his life?
Yeah.
Whether it was school holidays or, you know, summer holidays or on the weekends? OK. So your mum says now that the only reason you do have Paul full-time now and have taken back having Paul is because you are looking for a home?
No, I took Paul back because he belongs with me and I feel ready to have him back.
Yeah,
Not because I wanted
homeless.
Yes, I was homeless. I was living with you.
No, you wasn't living with me. You were living at Shells.
No, originally I was living with you.
at Shells.
I was living with you.
You was living at Shells in a one-bedroom flat with your son, Shell and Charlotte.
Before I got Paul back, I was living with you.
You stayed at mine the odd night, Amy. You did not stay at my house.
And why?
You tell me why.
Because we didn't get on.
It's got nothing to do with that.
So
I
then you
wasn't
wasn't?
allowed your
We
friends.
wasn't getting on.
All right, so then you wasn't. It's true what your mum was saying. You was living somewhere else. And that's why,
But all
because
my
you wasn't
stuff was
getting
at my
on.
mum's and we weren't getting on.
Right. Why not, Amy? Why weren't you getting on?
We just never got on. Since she moved up to where she lives now.
So do you think it's the location? I mean, you know, fundamentally, why do you feel like you've not got on? What do you believe is the problem?
We just drifted apart.
No, you started trying to call the shots on who I could see, who I could speak to. I wasn't allowed friends. I had to choose between my friends and you. Did I ever make you choose your friends over me?
You've tried.
No, I haven't.
You said that you suspected that your mum was using drugs.
Yeah, because she dropped a load of weight. You can't lose weight through not eating.
Amy, I've been losing weight for the past year.
And you're secretive.
How on earth am I secretive?
You always have been.
Over what?
Everything.
What's the story here with needing to know where each other is, the control of where the person is?
Well, basically, I'm not allowed friends, Joe. Amy's allowed friends, but I'm not.
So what are you wanting here today, Amy?
A love and a support.
You've got my love and support, Amy. Amy!
Come on, I want to make sure I can regulate this so we can really hear what each other needs. I know you both feel like you need to be heard, but in order for us to really communicate properly, it means we've got to learn to listen really well. What are you missing, Amy, that you want? What is it that makes you feel that you're not loved? What do you need?
Quality time with my mum and nobody else.
Do you want daughter and mum time?
Yeah.
Time where you can...
Just me and my mum, even if it's just a stroll down the beach. Or a coffee.
What would you like? What
I'd
would you
like that.
You'd
I
like that
really
too?
would like it.
What else would you like? Tell me, what would you like?
I'd like you to stop making me choose between my friends. I need friends as well as you, Amy.
I know you do.
I can't give you 100%, 100 hours of the week. I've got Ryan. He's not my brew-out boy. He's my son. He lives at home.
Yeah, but he gets everything.
You are a mum. You have got your own son.
He gets you attention, though.
So do you. But how do you expect me to give you attention when I do come and see you and you don't even open the door?
This is really where I want to bring it back to. You know, I want to talk about Paul because there's a young little boy here who you both love very dearly, who's being caught up in the wrap of all of this. You know, he loves his nana, spending his time at his nana's. I mean, he was there for a lot of that time, you know, which...
I weren't there for
Which you
him.
weren't there for. And have you ever had that conversation with your mother, as a woman now who has been honest with herself, that you weren't there? Have you ever wrote that letter that showed gratitude and appreciation?
No.
Would you like to do a verbal letter now? Do you think that's necessary?
I do appreciate everything you've done. I was young and stupid and I put myself first before my son. I know it's wrong, but I want to make it work now.
I want you to make it work.
OK, so let's make it work with Paul. So let's make it work with Paul.
I want to be a nan to him, Amy. I don't want to be a standing whatever. He's my grandson, not my son. He's your son, not mine.
Then before we talk about Paul, when we talk about his behaviour, for God's sake, give each other a hug because you're both sitting here in pain. You're both sitting here in pain.
Still to come on Family Matters.
I can't go on like this. I've had enough.
Amy, when you have a problem,
You
don't
need
go
to
to Nan.
talk to us.
You come and talk to us.
You too, I always will do. And I'm not going to butt in. It's time to prove to yourself now. You don't need to prove to me, Amy. I know I made my wrongs, but I've tried. But you can't keep throwing them at me. You really can't. I'm 16 years this year, and you need to get that idea out your head. Think of who's up there. Do you really think I want to let him down? I could have made this. I could have relapsed when he died, and I didn't. He were my life, you know he were. So please get that idea out of your head. sorry.
Don't apologise. This is what we're here for.
I know I look like a heartless bitch at times, but I'm not. You kids come before anything in my life, you know that. You've even come before me.
No, you need to put your health first, don't you?
Well, I put my kids first, I'm
Like
sorry,
taking your
but...
tablets.
Yeah, well...
So in order to move forward, I mean, in order to move, you can't change the past. I mean, you've done things, you've made choices, they've had consequences, you've made better choices now, and you're trying to every day make that better. The same for yourself, you've made choices. They weren't the smartest of choices.
No.
You had medical conditions to deal with as well, post-natal depression, and, just now you understand that, as more of a mature adult, you're understanding that. As somebody who wants to be every day a better mum, a responsible mother, there's been decisions made and there have been severe consequences because of those decisions. So we can't change. We can't change yesterday. But, presently now we are here and focused on where we move forward. And that's what we can do. But in order to move forward, it means that you can't keep bringing up the past as ammunition. You can't keep bringing up the past, as that firing arm to hurt, to damage, and to break down. It's about looking at what you do to keep the door open, There's always going to be right now for you that moment of going through that journey of emotionally healing from your childhood. There's no two ways about that. There's a lot that went on, a lot that was wrong, which you hold your hands up to and take responsibility for. I would like to offer more counselling for you as somebody who most certainly is suffering from stress from your childhood so that you can heal. But forgiveness is a choice. It is a choice.
I do forgive her.
It is a choice in how you either learn through the process of learning to let go of that anger and that hurt, because holding on to it only makes it worse for yourself, even though you feel like you're directing it towards your mum. It'll end up freeing you. Paul, let's talk about Paul's behaviour. Let's go to tape.
Will you let go of the curtain, please? Paul doesn't listen when people say no to him. Don't use your fingers. Don't speak with your mouth full. If I say no, he cries, he screams, he kicks out. Why did you punch and kick Mummy and nip me and scratch me? He punches me, he bites me, he nips me. That's from you kicking Mummy, that. Why did you smack my face?
Amy's brought the kicking and biting and whatnot on herself because she lets him do it.
Refusing to walk. You're not getting a taxi? Come on. What's the matter? No, stand up. To the point where you've got to go up and pick him up to carry him home. He's really heavy as well, there's so much power behind him. I am scared of Paul. I feel if I don't give him what he wants, then he will lash out. I've only come in to ask you, do you want a plate or a dish for your tea?
How can you be scared of a 5-year-old? She's supposed to be the adult.
Please?
My brother Ryan, he's got ADHD.
I'm Ryan and my role is I'm Paul's uncle.
He's put his fist through the door before now and Paul got brought up around it.
I miss Paul quite a lot because I basically brought him up with my mum.
And I feel he's picked up on my brother's behaviour.
I'd like to be a proper uncle to him and be able to look after him. We're basically falling apart.
She needs to nip it in bud now before it gets any worse.
Hi, Ryan.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So tell me about your relationship with Paul.
Well, it used to be very good, but we just fell apart after Amy took him back. And I don't know, it just needs to get better and sorted so we can actually be a proper family.
What kind of things did you used to do with Paul?
I used to take him to the park, play football with him, play with him. He's a toddler, he's very rough. So it's like, we just play and everything, so he's rough. I just, like, tickle him, pin him to the floor and tickle him, like, pick him up and put him over my head and over my shoulders. And it was just fun.
Was there ever a conversation with Paul? Like you were living with Nana and now you're going to go and live, you know, with Mummy, that's where you're going to go, back home, Mummy?
No.
But was there any family conversation with little Paul?
No.
So you just went from one house to the next?
Yeah.
And you want a close relationship with your brother?
Yeah.
What do you want?
I was basically aiming to cut the crap because my mum brought him up from 11 months old. And you need to say thank you because you never said thank you ever. So you need to at least be grateful.
I am grateful for everything she's done.
If it wasn't for Mum and me, he'd be in care and you won't be able to see him till he's 18.
He wouldn't have been in care.
He would have been. Because Nan's got residency orders for us. And if that wasn't for Nan, we'd be in care.
The point is you're feeling that there has been no gratitude, there has been no...
Yeah. It's like, without us, we wouldn't have got anywhere. It's like, if Amy could cope, we wouldn't be here. So, you need to be a proper mum. You need to lay the law down, and when he does something naughty, you need to put him in his room. And he's 5, so put him in his room for 5 minutes. If he comes out, he goes in for another 5.
I've tried that, Ryan.
Just keep doing
It's
it.
not that easy.
When I looked after him, when I babysat him, he stayed where I put him. Because if he didn't, he'd be put back there. And after he'd stayed there, he could come back out.
But you've got the strength to do that, Ryan.
Yeah, so's he. He can pull doors off hinges, Amy.
Exactly.
He's done that before, but you think...
And you're telling me I'm not scared of him?
You don't... That's why he does this. You're scared of him. You just need to tell him.
He doesn't listen.
Then make him listen.
How? Pin him to the floor and tell him he's got to listen to me? No.
You tell him. Mum used to do it with us.
When he misbehaves and Paul becomes very aggressive, how do you react?
I like laugh at him because I'm scared.
You laugh. So you laugh in fear. The laugh is the shock.
Yeah.
And then you go into laughter. How do you deal with it?
I put him in his room.
And how is your composure? Do you laugh?
No, I don't. I'm serious.
Yeah.
I would, if he did that now, it'd be in his room. If he came out, he'd be put him back in there. If he hit me...
How does he know you're serious?
Because I didn't mess about. If he did something naughty, he would know.
So your whole demeanour changes. He knows, you know, that right now Uncle's not happy.
Yeah.
He knows it's not playtime now.
Yeah, it's like when he used to ram his toys into Mum's legs.
Yes.
I used to put him on the bottom step of the stairs.
Yeah.
And if he came back in, he'd be put back there.
Yeah.
And he got the hang of it.
He knew he wasn't to do that.
Yeah, he stopped for a while. Then we got the puppies.
Yeah.
And he started chasing them, kicking them and everything.
Right.
And he stopped after a while because he got punished. But, like, Amy just laughs at him, laughing at him, just thinking he's funny. So he'll just keep doing it.
But it's not thinking he's funny, though.
No, he thinks it's funny. That's why he keeps doing it. If you don't laugh at him and you're being serious, he will stop. We've shown you that.
See, he's been raised with a set of rules to understand that there's boundaries and guidelines.
He just thinks I joke.
And he thinks that, you know, for you it's not serious. You know, he's been raised with that. He knows that there are boundaries, guidelines. You know, he knows, and there's an expectation. And he knows that he has to meet that expectation, otherwise there's consequences. He also knows not just through actions, but he can see the change, you know, with his family. He can see when they're talking to him very seriously. You know, you can see just when Ryan was talking about his behaviour, you know, his eyebrows, he was like, no, it's not OK. You know, the whole facial expressions change. Body language changes. It's not the same, you know, rough and tumble and playful uncle that he would have been used to, you know. The difference is that to come from a household where there are expectations and there are boundaries and there is discipline. And then to go into a home now with his mother where there isn't any of that, where you're just laughing, means that the message he's getting is very mixed. It's now there isn't that. And so the temper tantrums become more escalated, and then he continues to build up that temper and that anger rather than learning that that's not appropriate.
Still to come on Family Matters.
The vision is all about what we want now. None of what we don't want. We're focusing on what we do want moving forward.
You both need to open up and help each other.
Money or no money, it's about getting together. Whoever's house you're in, okay? It's about spending that family time together. I had a chance before the show to meet little Paul. Watch the tape. Hi, Paul.
Oh, hi.
Hello. How are you?
Hi.
Nice to meet you. I'm Jo. Hi. Say hello. Look at me. Say hello. Hello.
What's...
You having fun this morning?
Yeah?
Who'd you come down here with today?
My mum.
You come down with your mum?
Yeah.
Cool.
And because I love my mummy.
I know. And your mummy loves you too.
Yeah. What's your mum called?
My mum's called Jo.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Like Jojo.
Jojo, that's me. I'm Jojo.
Oh, yeah. I just remembered you.
You remembered me?
Yeah.
Where did you remember me from?
Because I said Jojo.
Oh, okay. You going to school, Paul?
What?
You go to school?
Yeah, at Mayfield Road.
Yeah. What do you enjoy doing there at school?
Easy.
Sorry?
I play toys and
You do?
outside. After dinner, I go outside again.
At Mummy's?
Yeah.
Do you go round and see Grandma too?
Yeah, called my nanny.
Your nanny?
Mm-hmm.
And you lived with Nanny for a while, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You didn't see me at nanny's, did you?
No. Was that good at Nanny's?
Yeah.
You have fun there?
Yeah, I really have fun.
Yeah.
I keep having fun there.
That's a good thing, isn't it? Going over to Grandma's and having fun there.
Yeah.
No, you were living with Grandma, and now you're living with Mummy. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Is that right? You were moved in now to a new place with Mummy.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah. Okay. I understand what you're saying now. So you've moved into a new place with Mummy.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. So have you decorated your bedroom then? When you moved into your new flat with Mummy, have you decorated your bedroom?
Not at my. No. I'm too busy.
You're too busy. Does Mummy tell you when you've behaved really well?
Yeah.
Does she? What things do you do? And she says, Paul, that's so good. You've really behaved well.
Yeah.
What things do you do?
My toys.
When you're playing. And then sometimes do you behave naughty?
Yeah.
You do? What do you do when you behave naughty?
Will be tidy my bedroom up.
Oh. Well, it's good to tidy your bedroom up.
Yeah.
Because you keep it clean and then you can look after your toys and games as well.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go and meet Mummy now.
Not yet, I'm not.
No, I am though. I'm going to go and say hello to Mummy. But I'll leave you here colouring, okay?
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Bye, love. Was far too busy to be talking to me. It was too much.
Yes.
So where do we move forward? You know, there's been a lot that's been done and said, and a lot that you will continue beyond here to heal every day. You know, to put a conscious effort into building, to repair, to repair the hurt that's been caused emotionally. You know, but nothing that can't be achieved, nothing that is not impossible. It just takes a family to be committed and willing with an open heart to move forward and looking at ways in how you do that, which most important is commitment and effort and time. So let's talk about that. What will we commit today, Amy?
Spend time together on a Sunday and a Tuesday. And go out at least once a month for a family meal.
If I can afford it.
We'll make sure we can afford it.
Well, to be honest, I'm 18 in September. And you said when I turn 18, you're taking me to bingo. So you better not go back on that.
Bingo it is.
I just want to spend time with Paul and you.
I want time with my brother.
I want everyone to get on.
What,
Have not went in jail.
But time, OK? It's time, it's
I've
time
no
and
energy
effort.
left. I just want you all to get on. I just need to just sort it out.
But that's what we're doing.
I can't go on like this. I've had enough.
But Amy, when you have a problem,
You
don't
need
go
to
to Nan.
talk to us.
You come and talk to us. Because Nan's ill. You know that.
Can you make that effort? Can you make that conscious effort? Your family is saying, like, today is that bridge. They're saying walk across it. Walk across it and come to us. Share your problems as a family. Know you can do that. Can you make that conscious effort to do that? I'd like to go to Tate, please.
Why did you do it?
If nothing changes, she's still going to be scared of Paul.
I think he's going to turn out similar to my brother if he carries on the way he's going. When he's a teenager, it's going to come to the point he's going to ask for something. I'm going to say no, and he's going to beat me up. And I feel that Paul might end up back with my mum if his behaviour don't get sorted.
I would like to play a part of his life, yeah, but because of what she said, I can't. Just cannot understand the damage it has actually done.
There's no words to describe how hurtful it is, really, because we both love Paul to pieces, we both love Amy to pieces, but it's just tearing us apart.
I don't want it to be like that. I want us to be a family.
I'd like my mum to know I love her, and I want things to be different.
So it's all about what we want, OK? The vision is all about what we want now. None of what we don't want. We're focusing on what we do want moving forward. We have now a very conscious effort in recognising that we're going to come to family when we need help, because they've said, open arms. We are here, we want to support you, OK? For you to be able to do that. Little Paul needs structure. He does need a routine. He needs things to be familiar. They're safe for him. The consistency will make him not feel like he's having the rug moved from under his feet every day. OK, with that comes more control over his emotions. We have Sundays and Tuesdays as regular 2 days a week to have that time with Nana and, you know, having your relationship. I think it would be absolutely marvellous on those times as well. And when you can liaise on that, you know, is rough and tumbling with Uncle and doing all the things that you guys love to do, which is incredibly important, and a wonderful role model to have in his life, looking up to his uncle, you know. So remembering time, effort, commitment, say what you mean and mean what you say, OK? I'm sure there's much you can teach your sister with respects to those boundaries, you know, and those guidelines and how you do it. You're open to learn from that? Yeah. You know, I think that's really important.
These two, yeah.
That's something you do, correct?
He has actually tried giving her hints on how to do it, but she just...
Yeah, but that was the past.
That was then, yes.
You know, that was, you know, here is clean slate.
You both need to open up and help each other.
Yeah, can you go round for the day and show your sister? Give me a day.
Right. I'm not going.
Saturday.
I'll come down on Saturday.
Come down on Saturday? Good. I'm pleased to hear that. OK, we've got some good stuff happening here, you know? We've got structure in place, we've got boundaries in place, we've got guidelines. Comes with the consequences, comes the positive, the praise, the affection, which I see you do, but it's always good to let the little ones know where they're at, be engaged, the stability, the familiarity for him every day, the open arms, sharing, talking, communicating. We've got twice a week happening with the whole family getting together, okay? Money or no money, it's about getting together. Whoever's house you're in, okay? It's about spending that family time together, okay? Do we feel like we have a road we can walk on together as a family?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good thing. Give each other a bloody big hug. All of you, get together. Seriously.
Thanks for watching Nurture. Make sure you subscribe for more modern parenting.